Gratitude often comes up as a topic of conversation around the holidays, and we've just had a round of holidays as I record this video. So whether we're talking about Thanksgiving or any of the other holidays that are celebrated by many different people, oftentimes the focus is on being appreciative, giving thanks, being grateful for what we have and what we experience, our health, the people in our lives, whatever the case may be. But I want you to give more attention to gratitude or being thankful, and not just limit that way of thinking to the holidays. And here's why I say that. Gratitude and the feeling of thankfulness or the attitude of thankfulness can be tremendous when it comes to stress reduction, and it can be tremendous when it comes to even more specific things such as food. And I talk to you about a healthy diet on a regular basis. And you know why. If you watch my videos, you know that a healthy diet is important for a strong, resilient body and mind that will allow you to better manage stress. So let's talk about gratitude and the feeling of being thankful when it comes to food, since diet is such an important part of our health and well-being. You may find yourself sitting down to a holiday meal with your family and friends, and maybe you say grace, maybe you give thanks, maybe you express gratitude in some way. But beyond those holiday meals, many people forego that ritual, if you will. It's not necessarily a long ritual, but many people forego it. And for many, it's simply saved for the holidays, whatever holiday you may celebrate and enjoy. But I invite you to stop long enough before you start each meal and express some kind of gratitude or thanks, whether it's for that food, for that meal in general, for being able to have the food, for the people who made it possible for you to have the food, whether that's the employer that employs you, that allows you to have a paycheck to buy this food with, or whether it's the farmer that grows the food, or whether it's the grocery store that brings the food to your location where you now have easy access to it, whether it's the people who made the table on which your food is sitting as you sit down to eat it, or the people who build your kitchen or made the pots and pans that helped you to cook the meal. You can get really creative with this. You really can get really creative with this. But when you stop long enough, and again, this does not have to be a long ritual, a minute, if that, but you are expressing gratitude and thanks in a heartfelt manner. We're talking about the real deal. I'm not talking about just rattling off some cookie cutter thanks that means nothing because they're empty words that you've memorized. That doesn't work. I mean, that's just a waste of your time. Say it like you mean it and mean it when you say it. So be thankful. And the reason why I mentioned all the different things and people that you can be thankful for is so that you can switch it up from one meal to the next. So what happens when you do this? When you incorporate this little ritual before every single meal? Well, first, it makes you stop. It makes you stop and be present in the moment long enough to express gratitude in however you wish to express it for what's in front of you and what you're about to consume. It allows you to think about what you're consuming, how it is that you get to consume it. How did it come to be? How did it get to that point? It calms down the body, it calms down the mind, and it puts the brakes on you simply scarfing down what's in front of you. A lot of people just scarf down what's in front of them mindlessly, whether it's because they're in a hurry, they have a short break, or they're staring at their phone while they're eating, or at the TV while they're eating. I highly recommend you don't do that, any of that. Don't look at your screen. Look at your food. And if you're eating with someone else, have the courtesy to be present with them, to be enjoying the meal together, to be in conversation, to be engaged with one another. Don't watch the TV. Don't look at the phone. And if you're eating by yourself, be engaged with yourself and what you're eating, your food, what you're putting in your mouth. You don't need to give any more attention to a screen and eat mindlessly or ignore those around you. So this is what I would call mindful eating, which is a much better alternative than just scarfing things down, oblivious to your behavior. By the end of the meal, you don't know what you ate, how much you ate, or maybe even how it tasted. If that's the experience, what's the point? Right? If that's the experience, then wouldn't you be better off popping some futuristic pill, like from some futuristic sci-fi movie where maybe they don't even eat, they pop a pill? Because there is no experience with your food. There is no connection with your food. There's no connection with other people with whom you may be dining. We're not at that point. We are not that world. So don't create that world for yourself, because it doesn't do you any good. You're not giving the meal any justice. You're not giving your meal companions any justice or any respect, for that matter. You're not honoring the people who made it possible for you to have this meal. All of those things are so important, because when you focus on giving thanks and feeling gratitude and what you're eating and the people who are there with you, you're changing your state. You're changing your state. And you're being present and you're being mindful. And those are the kinds of things that help you to become more resilient and more able to process stress and to deal with stress more effectively and efficiently. So another part of this, of course, is what you eat, but that's a whole different video. You've heard me talk about the importance of a healthy diet more than once by now. But for this episode, I want you to incorporate a small ritual before every meal where you express gratitude and thanks. You can say words out loud, you can think them, but make sure they're real, they're from the heart, and you're feeling it, because that's what helps you to get into that right state of mind, the right state of being that is helpful to you. And enjoy your meal, enjoy the company. Give up the electronics and the distraction and the mindlessness. We do enough mindless things every day. Be mindful. So remember, gratitude and being thankful anytime for anything are great. But remember those things specifically for your meals. And don't do it once or twice, or maybe 3 times a year, only during the holidays, but rather incorporate this into your life on a regular basis. And trust me when I tell you, this will do you a world of good. This is all good for you. It's good for you. So make sure you engage in this tiny ritual. Do it every time before every meal, whether you say it out loud or simply think it. Make sure your heart's in it, your feelings are genuine. And stop long enough to be thankful. Vary it up. Make it fun. Maybe one meal you're thankful for the food. The next meal you're thankful for the guy who built the table that holds the food and the chair that holds your butt. Hey, your imagination is your best friend here. But do it. It really does make a difference. You will develop a different relationship with your food, with your meals, maybe even with your meal companions. So give it a try. I strongly encourage that you do this on a regular basis. If you'd like to learn more about a comprehensive approach to stress management, check out the link below.